website for Kayak Central Coast. So at the moment, this is just a screenshot of their current website. So I haven't designed this. This is someone else has designed this. But I included this so I could show where the modifications will stem from. So on their landing page, there's currently 3 cards. This has been zoomed out. The actual page is zoomed in, and you can't see a lot of this. You have to scroll to see it. But basically, there would be an additional card on the front page that goes to courses and development programs, which is the modernisation that I've been involved in and what my prototype focuses on. So the initial high-def prototype that I completed before I got user feedback, if I just go into the landing page for the courses, I tried to have the same look and feel to the initial page, the existing website. So none of this has been really changed. You've got your logo, which has already been designed by somebody else. You've got a main photo that sits across the top. You've got your main menus. So this was pretty much just sitting there to reflect the current website. From there, the rest of the design, the owner specifically wanted 2 separate areas, one to focus on what's called their Kayak Guide Development Program, and then the other one is the Kayak Basic Skills course. In the Kayak Basic Skills training course, there's multiple different courses, day courses and also overnight options, whereas the Kayak Guide Development Program is over a few months, and it works towards getting accreditation as a kayak guide. So if I click on the Kayak Guide Development Program, that's very simple. It's just one development program. You've got a calendar of possible dates. You've got a bit of information about the program and then an expression of interest form. So the owners of Kayak Central Coast, they're a very, very small business. They're very limited in their resources and managing courses. They're currently doing manually, and at this point in time, they don't want to change that. So Colin, the owner, specifically said he wanted an expression of interest form for all of the courses or the course pages, and then that would generate an email direct to him with the details of the customer, and then he would contact them personally and organise a time. So that's the way he's currently doing it manually, and he wanted the new part of the website to reflect that as well. So if I go back to this one, into the Kayak Basic Skills training course, this was a little bit different because there's 5 different courses in this area. So by clicking on one of these radio buttons, and initially these are drop-down boxes, and the previous design had a drop-down box on the left-hand side where you'd select it and it would come up with details on the course, and then over here it would automatically put that course into the form. This tool that I used, Pro.io, didn't have that full functionality with the drop-down lists and being able to populate a text field. So then trial and error, I tried some radio buttons, and having these within the form contents would then mean that I could use that information in the form. So this was the slightly modified design to the drop-down boxes. Again, when you click on a button, it brings up details of the course, and then once the customer puts in their information, the only required information that the owners wanted was the customer's name, the email and phone, but I left address details in there as well if they would wish to fill them in. And then when you click on submit, it provides some feedback to the customer, and then they can go back to navigate back to the main course page. So this was initially the final high definition prototype until I had a few users test it. The feedback that I got for this page was that there's no information here to differentiate the Kayak Guide Development Program and the Kayak Basic Skills Training course. So you basically have to navigate in to get any information and try and work out what the differences were. So I took this back to the owners and I got more information about both of these programs so I could put that on this page, and I'll show you that update in a minute. The other main feedback was that, go back. The other main feedback was that this didn't look very nice, and it was very bluntly put to me that it didn't look very nice, and it would be a lot better if each of these courses had some pictures of previous outings, so the customer browsing through the different courses can see what they potentially look like. So the modified design from the feedback from testing with some users then looks like this. Okay, so again, this hasn't changed because this is their original website. So now we go into our training courses and development programs. We've still got our two cards, but now we've got a spiel that differentiates between them and gives you a bit of an explanation between the two options. Going into the Kayak Guide Development Program, again, listening to the user feedback, having the photo, what it could potentially look like, got the information about the course, still got the expression of interest, which meets the owner's needs, and then just navigating back to the main course page. And the one that significantly changed was the multiple courses. So now going in here, just a quick bit of information about about different courses available, the different courses with an initial picture of each, but then you can go into each, and each now has a page in its own right with some more photos, the information still, and then the expression of interest form. So now we navigate through each of these, and they each have their own images specific to that particular course. And with a bit of a variety to show what it looks like. Flat water guide, and then the overnight as well. Okay, so again, I went back to a couple of the users who'd given previous feedback, and they thought that this was a lot more pleasant, a lot more appealing to potential customers for the business, because they can go in, they can see what it could potentially look like. Some people enjoying themselves, that always helps. And then it still has the expression of interest, which is meets the owner's requirements. Okay, thank you for taking the time to look at my prototype.